Hey, I'm Graham High. I'm the director-producer of the Housesitters.
I'm Brittany High, siblings. I'm the producer of the Housesitters.
Graham, you also DP and editor too, so you're not just like two things.
Yeah, I mean, it's, when you're doing it, like, I don't want to be the guy that gives too many of my hyphenates, but yeah, I shot it and I edited it as well. So yeah, a lot of hands-on, gaffed it. I mean, at some point you're just like...
You were around there taping things down. I love it. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Let's start with, where'd you find this house, this pool, this area? Like, what the hell? Did you have to pay someone like arm and a leg to get this? It's a gorgeous setting for this spooky film.
Yeah, we're really lucky. The house that we shot at is Matt McConkey's house. He's the lead and the producer, writer. Mm-hmm. And kind of the funny way we stumbled in on this is I used that beautiful backyard with the pool for my last film, 010. We had a hot YouTuber guy, and we just wanted to make him look really cool. So I asked Matt, I was like, hey, do you mind if we shoot in your backyard? And just, it'd be a really quick shoot. And he said, fine. Months later, we finished it. And Matt was like, hey, can I see that short film you shot in my backyard? Showed it to him. He loved it. And then he was like, hey, I've been tossing this idea around. Would you direct this short that I'm writing with my friend Aaron? So it was all kind of like this circular thing where he was nice enough to let me use this beautiful backyard, and then we're like, well, we got to use this location. It's just full access to it, looks great on camera, and just has a lot of character. Yeah.
Who owns Chekhov?
That would be Matt as well.
Wow. Okay.
So I don't want to. Chekhov's real name is Lincoln. So his acting is really on camera there.
Spot on. He's great.
Yeah, he's really.
Won't tell him anything more about him. I don't want to reveal too much. His long walks.
Yeah.
As far as the writing, was there any improv, or was this all written out? Especially between Aaron and Matt.
Yeah, I would say most of it was written. We workshopped it a lot. There were a couple of lines. One of my favorite lines people come up to me is Matt has a line about Ellen DeGeneres and Courtney Cox being roommates. And we're just like, hey, just act like you're reading something. And so there was a couple like just offhanded things that are some of the funniest lines. But yeah, they're great writers. They know exactly, what makes their chemistry pop. I don't know if you have anything to add to that.
No,
Brittany.
Honestly, you did a great job.
I love that. That's sweet. What was the difference in jumping from 0 to this for both of you guys?
Do you want to start off with that one?
Yeah, I'll do this. Yeah, when we did 010, it was Graham and I as the crew. No one else. So this was fun. We had a sound guy and our friend Don, significant. Hey Don, hey Don.
And Matt and Aaron.
And of course Matt and Aaron. So yeah, it was more communal. Whereas 010, Graham and I just got weird with a couple actors. But yeah, this was a lot more. There was a lot more involved because there were other people involved.
Mm-hmm.
How many total days? I mean, how long was this shoot for?
Now, I'm not trying to impress you, but 2 days, 17 pages.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Whoa. You have nighttime shoot and a daytime, so 2 days, literally day and night. Day and night? Is that it?
Yeah, we split. So I don't know if you want, but we did shoot on an iPhone, so we were able to shoot it very quickly. And I would say the days were like noon to 10. We did 2 10-hour days, and we had done a lot of rehearsals. We had kind of basically knew what we wanted to get on the day. But yeah, we basically knocked out 17 pages in 2 10-hour days, Saturday, Sunday.
I'm going to curse because that's really fucking impressive. Because it's not just in one location. I mean, they're driving around. I mean, there's a lot going on for 2 days. Wow. Okay. That's ambitious.
Yeah, we were like, this is a lot.
2 weekends.
Yeah. Luckily, everyone knew their lines. We knew what we were doing. They knew their characters, and it was fun. It was like, sometimes on film shoots, you're like sitting around, you're waiting for stuff. You're like, you're in the groove and they're out of the groove. It was 10 hours like of us just like go, go, go. Let's just, we took breaks, but it was, I like it when you're just moving and you're just staying in the zone. So
it's like a momentum.
Yeah, there's momentum. Yeah.
Quick momentum though. 2 days.
Yeah.
You got a quick. You talk about other films, Graham. I'm curious, did your work on other projects impact you as a director and how you approach it? Because some of that material obviously is very different than this type of material, but I'm curious, did you take anything from that side of, camera work and all the things that you've been able to do on the other side of that realm? Because there's, I can name like 4 or 5 docs that you were part of. So I'm curious, how much of your directing has been impacted by your other work?
Yeah, so I do have a documentary background, and what I've really taken from that is, there's no job too small on a doc set. Like, you're getting lunch, you're greeting the talent, you're setting up the camera, and some of the docs, there's big crews, but everyone is just in it to make it happen. So I really love that mentality. That also with documentary, it doesn't matter. It's not about how good it looks. It's about getting the story, like getting whatever it is, you got to capture it. And I really like that approach. Like, don't be too precious. Just try to get to the core of the story. So, I've been taking that into doing these short films, and it's been really fun. Like, Brittany joining me, like, we're all just in there. We're just trying to make it happen, trying to tell a great story, try to be honest. And we've experimented every time. My first was a family drama, and it played here at Tallgrass. And the big one with that is, like, it's a little kid playing an estranged elderly father. So, it's a little weird, but I try to take that documentary approach of, like, we're shooting this straight. And with 010, like Brittany said, it was during COVID, very small crew, but we just tried to make it happen. We just used what we had, whatever lighting or locations. And with this one, the Housesitters, it was really great because it was a lot of collaboration, like a lot of us working together. It's the first thing I've ever directed where I haven't written it. And it just made it was all of our projects. And I think kind of having that experience, like we're all in it together, makes it a fun communal thing that what I'm most proud of is that we just have this experience that we get to carry with us. Yeah.
Everything else is just sprinkles, icing on top, because we really did have just the funnest shoot. Funnest isn't a word, but we're going to forgive me. We had such a good shoot. I mean, we finished on time. I mean, it was one of those things that I kept being like, I think we're making good time. And everybody's like, don't say things like that. You're going to jinx it. Yeah. But we had gorgeous time, start to finish, everybody in a great attitude. I just felt like this was like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I'll say the one thing that, and this is to our cast, is something that Doc's taught me is, like, you have to be open to the moment. And, it's not exclusive documentaries, but if something's happening in front of you and you have a camera, if an interview is going a certain way and someone's going a certain direction emotionally, you have to let it happen. And we had an amazing cast with this, and it was really fun to have people show up. We were like, hey, 2 hours of your time. And like Ryan, for example, who plays our villain, elevated the part way more than any of us thought. Like, just the way he brought some mannerisms in his final kind of spooky scene. So it was really great to just be open to whatever was going to happen in those small windows of time.
Another element of being open, I don't want to give too much of the film away, but some of my favorite parts involve maybe body parts being open and unleashing things. I'm hoping your actors are not method, but I'm curious, how much fun was the humor in this, and seeing Matt and Aaron go off of each other? Was it difficult to not crack up during a scene? I laughed so much in this movie.
Oh, great.
Not only was it difficult to not crack up, but I saw Graham going like, a couple times because I'd be giggling. But Matt and Aaron have been friends for a long time. Like, it is inspired by a true story. What's the stance we're taking on that? Yes. They lived together for 15 years, which is like the most baffling thing in the world. People live together for 15 years. That's not weird. But roommates for 15 years, so they have their whole dynamic. What you're referring to was something that's, native to their friendship. And they said, we just want to do this little saucy little fun thing. And it was a lot of fun. I can't say how to cut it together, making sure it all aligns, but Graham did a great job doing that for sure.
Yeah. I mean, they brought the chemistry pre-packaged. I mean, before I even read a script, they just had a treatment, and I was like, this is hilarious. This is great. I see what you guys are doing. We just got to capture it. And like I said before, just those small little things they did on set just really made the whole thing sing. We were laughing a lot, and there were times where we were like behind the camera, like, that's the take, that's the one. So when you get that, and especially in a comedy, you're onto something. So yeah.
You mentioned earlier the connection to Wichita, this festival. What does Tallgrass mean to you? And also knowing that Melanie really champions short films and their impact. I love the blocks this year. What does it mean to be at a festival that really has enjoyed what you guys have created over the few years?
I'm really grateful to Tallgrass. My first short that I did, I was in that thing where I was like, I'm not getting into as many festivals as I liked or whatever, and then Tallgrass picked it, and it was a weird family drama, and I felt like at home here, and it was great to be connected to Wichita. And this is the third short I've had here in 3 years, and they're all different. They're all like family drama, sci-fi, weirdo, thriller, and this one's like a horror comedy. And Tallgrass has homes for all of these short films. It's not like one or the other. It's not just genre. It's not just docs. They're really great at giving a wide expanse of films to the community. And when we come and we visit, we're so happy that there's this community here of film lovers. So Tallgrass is kind of like a little kind of pilgrimage that we do, where we feel like we're at home physically, and we're also at home with other filmmakers and film lovers. So I'm so grateful that we've been able to be a part of it.
Oh, sorry. Hearing children in the background is confusing me. So I've got to ask, siblings working together, easy, tough? What's it like?
Giving it to me for that?
Well, so Brittany and I, we've made a lot of like stuff together. Like growing up, we, in high school, we made a Blair Witch parody called the Sandwich Project. That it dates us a little bit, where people were making
I don't know what he's
Blair Witch parodies. But we were like 16, 17, and using our friend's VHS camcorder and editing it on like VHS. I mean, just really silly stuff. And we've always had a good relationship, and I knew doing these shorts that I needed to have someone who have my back and understand me, and I could communicate with, and we could get direct with and not take it personally. Every sibling relationship is different, but we're pretty lucky. We've been doing silly videos. We've done CatCon stuff. I mean, we've just worked together a lot in a lot of different situations, but I don't know if...
Yeah, I would say my biggest goal when I work with Graham on these films and whatever project comes our way is, he is a director, and I have so much belief in his vision. He's really articulate in explaining it. I mean, I remember, going for the walk before the last time, where you're like breaking it down, you're like, oh, this is what it's about, and I'm thinking, oh yeah, I want to be a part of that for sure. And my whole goal is always supporting his vision, rather than like, sure, I have feedback, or like, we do collaborate, but I think it's really cool that because of our relationship, I'm able to provide a space for him to like take it up, go for the other shot, get what you want, and supporting him in that, because then we get like a sweeter product, I feel like. But also we have so much fun and lots of laughs, and of course being able to come to Tallgrass and all the other festivals and things, doing that together is always just a highlight, a joy, a privilege, an honor. Oh, an honor.
Yeah, you got the moment to camera. Perfect. Well, you guys do a good job for us as an audience. We have been loving it. I'm curious. Well, before this last question, you mentioned iPhone. I'd love for you to talk a little bit about the workflow of filming on an iPhone. So many people wonder, can I make a film in this world and today? Yes, you can, and you can do it very, cost effectively. But what was your experience shooting with the iPhone and the editing off of that? I mean, you were handling the whole thing, so explain.
Yeah, I've been thinking a lot about it, because after this is my second short film that I shot on an iPhone, and I think the best thing to do is figure out the end first. Like, what do you want to do? And my goal was, my first short film playing festivals, and I was like, that was great. I want to do more of that. I want to have my short films play in front of people in a theater, and I want to get better at that. That was my thing. Other people could be like, I just want to do some short stuff with my friends. I want to do a feature. You got to figure out the first thing. But if you want to play at festivals, there's gear you could buy. There's gimbals, and there's an app called Filmic Pro. Learning a little bit of lighting basics, and I would recommend hiring a sound person. Like, it's not, we were just talking to someone about that. The cost isn't zero, but it's a lot less expensive to shoot on your iPhone, and less cumbersome. You move a lot faster, and what I really like about it is you could experiment. Like, you can, rather than being like, you know what, I just had an idea, what if we just put the camera down here and we're shooting up, and then your DP is like, cool, let's do that, and they talk to the guy for like, we need half an hour to do that, and we're like, well, we're already, and half hour isn't long, but it just gives you the freedom to just try stuff and not be so precious. So I'll just say, if you want to play at festivals, like, there's some gear that you could get to get it over the edge and make it look a little bit better. Teach yourself a little bit of lighting basics, like how to light a scene, and use that as a practice. And you could get some really cool stuff. You could move the camera anywhere you wanted to. You could do long takes. You could put it in your car and not have to worry about like this huge rig. So for me, it's like, if you want to just try to get better at cinema storytelling and experiment, iPhone is a great way to do it without trying to raise $20,000 and get a crew of 20 people together or whatever it is. So I'm a huge fan of that. Or if you could just want to have some fun with your friends, just pull it out of your pocket and just play around with it, and don't be so precious about it.
Yeah.
I don't know if you...
I would just say on that note, my favorite moment from this shoot is Graham laying flat on his back with a gimbal, looking up. It's a POV shot from the dog's perspective. I got some behind the scenes. I'll send it to you. But it's just like, wow, only with an iPhone. You couldn't have done that with the big rig, or you wouldn't have. It wouldn't have been so precious and sweet.
Yeah.
So true.
Yeah.
Any chance you got to film said dog getting to need help doing what it needed to do, by any chance?
I'll never tell.
Yeah, we never got that on camera. We
never pushed the button.
We never pushed the button. We did not push the button. Yeah, we did not push the button. But he's out. Yeah.
So now that you've done these shorts, are you going to continue doing more shorts? Is there feature? Are you writing something different? Are you checking with Matt and Aaron on anything? Like, what is down the line? Because we want to see more.
Thank you. That's really, really nice to hear.
Validation.
Yeah, eat that. I do work in docs, so I'm developing some doc stuff. But there is a part of me that wants to take the ethos from these iPhone short films and do a micro budget or a small budget feature. Maybe not use iPhones, but kind of use the same ethos where, it's friends, we're keeping it low, we're keeping it light and experimental, and mostly putting an emphasis on story and enjoying ourselves, like being inspired. So nothing quite yet. I am producing a very low budget feature right now with some great artists that I'm really excited about. And, it's got the same scrappy quality, and I'm excited about getting out there, maybe taking the Tallgrass if I can work that out. But I'm just really excited about this movement in movie making where the costs have been brought down. So a lot of us are just able to do something we want to do without waiting for years and fundraising forever, and just doing something special.
As a fan of the docs that you've been a part of, is there another doc coming down the line for Matt and that team?
From Matt Turnauer?
Yeah.
So we do. We have one. It's called The End of the World. It just premiered at Telluride. Telluride didn't do a lot of press on it, but it's premiering, I believe, at Doc NYC. I hope I'm not the one breaking the news. But The End of the World is very exciting. It's about Bennington College in the 1980s. And I'm a producer on it, and it's about literature and some of the writers.
Yeah, the authors. Brett Gold.
Yep.
I mean, these are some big names that went there.
Yeah, Bret Easton Ellis, Donna Tartt, Jonathan Lethem are the big trio, and there's of course others. So it's exploring what was the special chemistry that this college had in the 80s that produced some of the best authors of that generation. Looking at this is a Gen X perspective on our current worldview too, like kind of exploring the music and the scene and the history. I'm really excited. I think, we've done a lot of features, and I can't speak for the film officially, but my own experience, I've made several features with Matt Turnauer and Corey Reeser, and it's a really cool evolution of what we've done, and I'm really excited for this one to come out and to see what people think about it.
Yeah, I'll champion your films. You made some really amazing docs. The Ray Cohn stuff is freaking amazing. I saw that in the theater. I was blown away.
Awesome.
Yeah, like what the hell's going on? But did the Bennington thing come about from the podcast that they have about Bennington, or it's such an amazing story. I'm so glad you're making this.
Yeah, it just kind of happened concurrently. I mean, it's just separate. It's completely separate from all of that. Matt has known Brett since the 90s. He did a Vanity Fair piece on Brett when he was releasing The Informers, I think. But we have tapes from Matt's reporting days, like going back 20 some years, with some of the main players in the story. So we have really amazing footage that people will hear for the first time. So yeah, Matt's just part of that world. It's really kind of cool to work with someone that's like in that realm with some of the most brilliant minds in literature. So, I mean, I'm not that type of guy. I'm a man who likes the camera and and the way that these people speak, the way that they could articulate their worldview is really amazing, and I think people really get into it. Yeah.
Well, from that back to amazing fart humor.
Yeah.
Thank you guys for being as bold and along the spectrum as possible, because you guys are making really good films. And thank you guys for bringing it to, once again, back here to Tallgrass. Obviously, Tallgrass loves you, Wichita loves you, and we do too.
Thank you so much for having us. Yeah.
Yes, thank you.